Okay, so now we're going to do the couples resort project. So we open up Premiere, we're going to go to new project here. And you've already downloaded the files, so we're going to go here to project location, and we're going to choose the location. You're going to go out to your desktop or your hard drive where you put it. So I was on my desktop here, so here's my folder. I'm just going to choose that folder, Couples Resort, and select that as the folder. I'm going to call this, and you're going to name it Your Name _couples. Okay, and then we're going to just hit create down here in the bottom right. And then this is what it looks like basically. So we're going to import the media. So we're going to right click or just double click right here in this where it says import media. And when it opens this up, we're going to go out to where your hard drive is, which is in your hard drive. I just put mine on the desktop. And here's the Couples Resort. Just going to double click that. And I'm going to bring in the entire folder for the audio. And the little files are in there that it cannot read. Just say OK. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to double click in here. And we're going to import the whole video folder. And again, if there's anything in there. Now I don't like this folder view, so we're going to switch it down here to this icon view. This is for folder view. This is for icon view. Okay. So now we're going to just take a quick look at the script. So I'm going to go back out to the folder here and look in the script here. And we're going to go ahead and launch the script. Now, this is what a 2-column script looks like, okay? So you've got the video over here and you've got the audio over here. So this is a script-driven commercial. So every time there's audio that says something, there's a picture that matches up with it. That's why they're in these little boxes together. So when the announcer is saying, "Are you looking for relaxation?" you're putting the shot walking on the beach. The next line is, "Do you need a break from the everyday?" That matches up with this shot. Zoom out from the couple floating on the raft. So that's how it matches up all the way to the end, okay? So, and we're going to follow this format, and it makes it really easy to do the edit because you know on each line what picture matches with it. So let's go back to Premiere. And to create a sequence, you even though we're going to base it on the audio, we're going to start off with a video track, because if you do it with anything other than video, it messes up all the settings. So we're just going to take this first clip, even though that's not the first shot of the project, and drop the media here to create the sequence. You'll see now it created the sequence, and there's the first shot, but this is not the first shot, so we're going to click and delete it. Okay, so we are going to take the audio now, which everything's based on. We're taking the Jamaica VO, and if we just double click it, we'll see this is the entire VO. Now it's kind of been pre-trimmed, so you don't have to mark any in and out points in it. But what we're going to do, just to make it simple, is just to drag it straight from here right onto the timeline and put it on the A1 track. And then you can hit the backslash on your keyboard so you can see the entire audio. You can also move your mouse kind of in between the tracks here and make this a little taller and make it a little easier. Now what you can see here is that each one of these little clumps of this little waveform icons matches up to each one of these lines. So are you looking for relaxation? That's this first one right here, as you'll see.
Are you looking for relaxation?
Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Okay, so that's how this max up. The next one is, do you need a break from the everyday? So you can see right here.
Do you need a break from the everyday?
So that's how you're going to help yourself, by being able to see these waveforms. So we're going to come here to the very first part of the commercial. Now we've got the audio here. Now we're not going to mess with that, so we're going to lock the audio one track. So it's there, we can hear it, we just can't modify it accidentally. So we're going to come to the very first point, and we're going to mark in on the first audio, and we're going to play it until it finishes. So the first audio is, are you looking for relaxation? So I'm going to play it and stop it in the gap before it says the next line.
Are you looking for relaxation?
Stop right here, mark out. Now let's go get the shot that matches up to it, which is walking on the beach. Now here is man walking on the beach. We can close up this audio. And we're looking for man walking on the beach. So remember, don't double click the words because it thinks you're trying to rename it. So you see that highlights, you don't want to do that. So click these little icons over here, it'll load in here. Now this is the shot. So we can, just to see the shot real quick, just do a thing called scrubbing, where you just click this and just drag through the whole shot so you can see what the whole deal is. Okay, that's the whole shot. So we're just before he's walking into that sun strip. That's where we want it, and we mark I on the keyboard for in. And then now we've got in and out. We marked I on the keyboard for in at the beginning. We played the first line.
Are you looking for relaxation?
And we stop sort of in between there and hit O on the keyboard to mark out. So we've got in and out marked, and we've got the in. So what's going to happen is this endpoint is going to pin to the endpoint on the timeline, and it's going to take this much time, okay, which is actually 2 seconds and 29 frames. It's going to take the next 2 seconds and 29 frames and put it down on the timeline, okay? And we're just going to go ahead and turn off these other tracks, and the A1 track is already locked. So all we got to do here is they do have these icons for overwrite, but I want you to get used to using the keyboard shortcuts. Like instead of mark in, mark out, we're going to just hit I and O. And then instead of overwrite, which this button is, we're going to hit the period key. So we're just going to hit the period key, and that puts the first edit down on the timeline. So get in the habit of hitting the period key and then marking in, I on the keyboard, and then save, Command or Control S. Okay, now we're ready for the next edit. So we go back to the script. Do you need a break for the other day? So let's play that. Remember to stop it afterwards with the space bar. So space bar and play.
Do you need a break from the everyday?
Stop it in there, mark out. So mark out. Now let's go get the shot, which is zoom out of couple floating on the raft. So let's go, it's raft zoom here. So let's find raft zoom. Remember, don't double click the words, double click the little icon. Now let's scrub through it. And it goes all the way out here. Now we want to be careful not to cut to this black at the end. And you'll see the beginning of the shot's very static, like nothing's happening. So let's go to where it starts to zoom out, which is about right there. So right before it starts to zoom out, it's right about there. It doesn't have to be exact. Let's mark in. So let's see what we have. We have 3 points. We have in the source and in and out on the timeline based on the script. So now we hit the period key to do the edit, mark in for the next edit, and save, Command S. Okay, just get used to that. So it's period key, mark in, save every time. Period key, mark in, save. So let's watch the script for the next line. So this is a little bit longer. Then come to beautiful sunny Jamaica and the couple's all-inclusive resort. So let's play this.
Then come to beautiful sunny Jamaica and the couple's all-inclusive resort.
Right there, stop, mark out. And let's go see the shot is crane over pool bar. So let's go find it's in alphabetical. Here's crane over pool bar. Double click the icon. Let's scrub through this. Okay, that's good. Okay, now this time we're going to do something a little different. Okay, we don't want the shot to end here because we got all this nice stuff to see out here. But once it gets up to here, we don't need to see all the rest of this extra. So once the shot gets out to here, instead of marking an end point, we're going to mark an out point. So we're going to hit O on the keyboard. So this time what's going to happen is going to take this out point and put it to the out point here that's down on the timeline. And then this shot is 4 seconds and 29 frames. That's how much is here. So it's going to take this out point and pin it here, and then it's going to take the next 429 going backwards and put it in here. Okay? So again, we're just going to hit the period key to put down the edit, mark in to mark the next shot, and save, Command or Control S. Okay, now let's go get the next shot. The next shot is, again, a little longer. The Couples Resort Jamaica offers week-long all-inclusive vacation packages. Now you got to stop it right after the word packages because he says that feature parasailing very quickly. So let's be careful when we do that. And if we make a mistake, we'll just go back and remark it. So let's play it.
The Couples Jamaican Resort offers week-long all-inclusive vacation packages that feature
see, we went a little too far, so let's back it up. Remember, stop it after packages.
Inclusive vacation packages.
Okay, now we marked in. Okay, now if you want to check it, you've got this little play to in to out thing, but don't worry about that. Just trust what we did here. And the shot that we're looking for is crane over pool volleyball. Okay, so that's right here. So let's double click it. And again, let's scrub through it to see what we're working with. It's kind of dead here at the end, so we don't want to start it down here. We want to start it as close to the beginning as possible because very quickly the shot just kind of dies out there. So right in here, just come in a couple of frames. Never try to put it like 0 at the beginning. You always want to come in 5 to 10 frames. So let's come in 10 frames there. You see the 10 frames here, mark in. And then again, period key, mark I for in, and save, Command S. Okay. So then the next ones are very short shots. So this is just that feature parasailing. Okay. So again, click here.
That feature parasailing.
Stop it. Mark out. So you got your in and out here. Always look at this and make sure you have this or you forgot to set your endpoint. If this isn't showing up, you forgot to set your endpoint. So let's go get the parasailing shot. Double click. And again, let's scrub through this. Now what we're going to do is take this forward until we don't see they're not really going anywhere. The trees aren't moving. And now when they start moving and the trees are out of the shot, We're just dragging the mouse here, dragging this forward, and that's where we're going to mark in. And then we just hit overwrite with period key, mark in for the next shot, and save, Command S. Okay, so the next one is diving. It's literally one word, but we're going to leave as much space as we can.
Diving.
Okay, now let's zoom in. I'm going to just hit the plus key on the keyboard a couple times. Now the word diving is right here, but I don't want the shot to be that short. So here's where the last shot ended, and here's where the next shot starts, okay? So let's just go, instead of just stopping it right there after the word diving, let's stretch it out a little bit. So let's almost, now if you hear the next part, we went too far. If you hear that, so come back and mark out, okay? I'm going to hit the backslash key on the keyboard to zoom it back out, and let's go get the diving shot. And double click. Okay, and again, as we scrub through this, there's a couple places you could pick it out. You could get this nice little arm movement here, but I kind of like that part of it, where she's just kind of cruising along and the bubbles are coming out. It's kind of nice. So from right here is okay. Mark in, and remember, endpoint goes to endpoint, and then however long this is 1 second and 11 frames. That's how much more it's going to take. You don't have to mark an out point. As a matter of fact, if you did mark an out point, let's say you marked an out point here, you got an extra out point, and I went to do the overwrite, period, it brings up this, okay? If this shows up, you want to just cancel it and come back to here and realize that you put an out point when you didn't need to. So you got to come here and right click on it and say clear out, and clear the out point, okay? So no out point is there, so just the end point, and then you go ahead and the same thing, period, mark I to mark for the next shot, and save, okay? So then the next one is local cuisine, okay? So let's play the line.
Local cuisine.
Okay, mark out, and that's the chef in the kitchen, so we have to go to the chef shot. And it's not this one. Actually, let's change this name. This is the sequence name. Let's change this to your name underscore couples. Okay. And then here's the chef in the kitchen. Okay. And again, let's scrub through it. Okay. And the best part of this is where his hand's coming in there. So just as the hand's coming in right there, that's where we'll mark it in. And then we hit period, mark in for the next shot, and Command S. And then the next one is, let's look at the script, sailing lessons. So let's go get the sailing lesson shot. Scroll down there in alphabetical order. So we come back to the timeline and play the line.
Sailing lessons.
Sailing lessons. Mark out. Okay, now let's go through this. Okay. And there's a point where he reaches back there to help her right there. So let's get right scrubbing. I'm just scrubbing left and right here. Let's get right before his hand goes there. Right there. Mark in, and then period. Mark in, save. And then the next one is, or just relax poolside. So let's play here.
Or just relax poolside.
Comma. Okay, hit the period key there, so here we go. And then we got couple in the pool. And again, we're just scrubbing through that. Now we got this big thing in the shot, okay? So what we want to do is go to right where he's about to dip down. So that thing's mostly, it's not completely out of the shot, it's mostly out. So right where he's about to start dipping down, right there is about where we're going to put it. So mark in there, and then period key, mark in for the next shot, save, Command S. Or beachside. So the next one is or beachside. So let's play it.
Or beachside.
Or beachside. Out. Now this is couple walking on the beach. And on this one, we're going to get right before she raises her hand up. Right before that. So bring it to the right. Bring it down. So her hand's back down by her side. Mark in. Period. Mark in, save, okay? And then the last one is the sunset shot. Now, if we go just to the end here, we're only at 27:29. And believe it or not, 30-second commercials are 29 seconds and 15 frames long, so they're not 30 seconds long. So we're going to click here, and we're going to type 29.15, and we'll hit enter, and the playhead's going to jump out here to the end at 29:15. So we're going to hit M on the keyboard to put a marker there. That's the way we know where our final shot is supposed to go. So again, we already marked in when we saved the last time. So let's drag it out here. It'll snap to that little marker. See how it snaps there? And just mark out there. And then the last shot is the sunset shot. Okay, sunset shot with the graphic. So let's go get the sunset shot. Double click. it doesn't really matter where you put in this in because it's the same shot over and over again. So anywhere in here, just don't be too close to the end so you run out of footage, and just mark in and overwrite with the period key and Command S to save. Okay, so now this is our entire shoot. Okay, now the last thing we're going to do is put a graphic here, and then we'll add music. Okay, so right here we're going to put. Let's go ahead and lock our track here. Now I'm not going to show this in the tutorial because it takes too long, but we'll just have to play the whole thing, make sure there's no mistakes in it. If there's mistakes, just raise your hand and come get me and I'll show you how to fix it. Let's turn on the video 2 track. That's where we're going to put the title, and let's get the title tool, and we're going to come in here and click. Now we're going to turn on the title safe. If your title safe isn't showing up, it says safe margins, you come here to this little plus key, you go grab this title safe and drag it down here, and then you click OK, and it'll be here. Okay, but I'm going to turn it on, and what you want to do is keep your text inside those lines. Okay, so we're not going to click in the middle because as we type, it goes out to the right. So we're going to click way over here over on the left, and it's going to type the couples resort. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and just click on here, and we're going to turn on, once we've typed something here, we're going to go up to window, and we're going to turn on the essential graphics panel. It's going to show up over here. Now you may need to resize this a little bit if it's too small. Okay, and then over here, you're going to change the font to Arial Bold, so just click in here and type Arial Bold, and then there it is. Let's click on there. We're going to make the size 55. Just click on there and type 55 here. Okay, and then we're going to turn on the stroke and make sure the stroke is black. It could be either one of those corners. And let's put the stroke on 3. Just click and type 3 there. Okay, and then the shadow, we're going to double click and make sure the shadow is completely black. And we're just going to leave the defaults here. We're just make it 100%. So if it's 75, make this 100. And then we're going to leave it at 135, 7, 0, and 40. So 7, you can just click in there and type 7. Just have to click in here and type 0. Click in here and type 40 if it's not already 40. Okay. Okay, now, so once you've got these, let's go back to the move tool here. See the move tool over here. And let's just kind of center it up. You can just hit if you want to, you can come up here and just the center button. And it's a little too big, but we're gonna move with that. Let's bring it down to like 50. So once we hit 50, let's go back and center it again. Okay, so now let's go back to the text tool and click here. And we're going to hit return and type in all. We'll just click inside there, and then I'm going to hit return. I'm going to type in all caps Jamaica. Okay, and then I'm going to hit return again, and I'm going to type 1-800- and then in all caps couples. Okay, now to make this all line up, I'm going to hit the center button, and then it throws it way off again there, so I'm just going to click here to center it up again, and I don't want it to cover up that sunset there, so I'm going to click on the move tool and just move it straight down. And now that it's below that, just double check by centering it up again. Okay, so that's what we have here. Now let's close the essential graphics panel. You can just click here and say close panel. Okay, and then we're going to stretch this out to the end, so it goes all the way out to the end. Now when we zoom in a little bit there, so just snap it to the end. And what we're going to do here is just right click and apply a default transition, which is a nice little fade out. Let's double click that and make it be 15 frames instead of a full second. Let's do this. Let's unlock the video track, and let's do the same thing. Apply default transition. It's 1 second. Double click. See 1 second. So we're just going to type 30. Oh, no, sorry. We're going to type 15, so it's 15 frames. Okay, so now we get a nice little fade out here at the end. And then we can turn off the title safe. So, okay, so now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add in the music. Okay, so we're going to hit the backslash key on the keyboard so we can see the entire edit, and we're going to take we're going to go all the way to the beginning of the edit, and we're going to mark I for end, and we're going to go a little bit beyond the end and then hit the up arrow key once, and that'll make us snap to the end of it, and mark O for out. Now we're going to lock our video tracks, so we can't mess them up. We've already got the voiceover locked. We're going to unlock the A2 track if it's locked, so we can do something there and bring this playhead all the way back to the beginning. So we've got in and out marked on the entire commercial. We're going to go to the audio, and we're going to double click the Caribbean music. Okay, now there's kind of two parts of it, but we're just going to use the beginning part of it. So we're just going to bring the playhead all the way to the beginning and mark I for end. Now sometimes you might have to zoom in a little bit and make sure that it starts at the beginning, but this does, so you don't have to worry about it in this particular case. And then we don't have to mark in or out because we've got the whole in and out here. So again, we turn on the video 2 track, take audio 1 and target it down here to audio 2. So this is audio 1 is going to be plugged into audio 2. And we just do the same thing. We hit the period key, and then we don't have to mark in or out, so just save. Okay? Now, the music is going to be too loud. Here's the whole commercial.
Are you looking for relaxation?
The music's too loud, so this is really easy to fix. We're just going to unlock the audio, and we're going to open up another panel here called the Essential Sound panel. Okay? So we're going to click on the talking, on the dialogue, and tell the Essential Sound panel that it's dialogue. And in this case, it's a male voice, so balance male voice. And it'll automatically mix it correctly. And then we're going to click on the music track, and we're going to tell it that it's music. And we're going to tell it that the preset is balanced background music. Okay, now sometimes it's still a little too loud, so we're going to just test it here.
Do you need a break from the everyday? Then come to beautiful.
Actually, that's good. So let's close the Essential Sound panel. And let's again hit the backslash key. We might need to just rearrange this just slightly, just push it this way just so we can see what we're doing. And then let's come to the very end of the music and right click and apply default transition. And this time remember it's 1 second, so let's double click it. And this time let's make it 300, so it's 3 seconds. So it makes a nice long fade out. And let's play the end of it just to make sure.
Or beachside. The Couples Resort Jamaica. 1-800-COUPLES.
Now one more thing we want to do here just to make the graphic a little nicer is bring your mouse to the beginning, unlock the V2 track, and just put a little fade in on the graphic. Just apply default transition, and again double click it and make it be 15 frames instead of a full second. So it just has a nice little fade in on the graphic.
Or just relax poolside or beachside. The Couples Resort Jamaica. 1-800.
Okay, so let's save. That's our whole project. And now let's just watch it one time.
Are you looking for relaxation? Do you need a break from the everyday? Then come to beautiful sunny Jamaica and the Couples All-Inclusive Resort. The Couples Jamaican Resort offers week-long all-inclusive vacation packages that feature parasailing, diving, local cuisine, sailing lessons, or just relax poolside or beachside. The Couples Resort Jamaica. 1-800-COUPLES.
And then the quick way to export it here is just come up here to this little button here, click on Quick Export, and we're going to, this says where you're going to export it to, and it's your name Couples, so whatever your name is, because you named your timeline down here is called that, so your name. So you got to tell it we're going to do high quality HP, or we can come down here and do YouTube. Let's do YouTube 1080p full HD. Okay, and then we got to click here to say where it's going to go to. So let's go on the desktop, and let's put it back in the Couples Resort photo, and then we're going to save it there. And then now it's all set up. So it's named this, it's saved in the correct place, it's got the setting for YouTube, and we export it. Now we're not going to sit here for the time that it takes to export the whole thing, even though it's 23 seconds, but that's the end of the video. Okay, that's how you do it.